Anti-Islamophobia motion M-103. Impatient and inaccurate content creators. This will be short. I will not be addressing the chat. I am getting sick of seeing these careless mistakes. I just watched a correction video from Dave Cullen of Computing Forever. I watched earlier today a video from Kraut and T. I have previously watched videos from the likes of Logic and Jordan B. Peterson, and even Sargon has dipped his toes into the Canadian political waters for this one. This is what I have to say about the videos I have seen thus far. From my not so humble perspective, my not so humble opinion, this goes especially for Kraut and T and Dave. I'll say Computing Forever. I don't know him at all, and so I don't figure I know him well enough to call him by first name. For Kraut and Computing Forever, I noticed that there were mistakes made that were most likely the fault of haste, at least in their first videos on the topic. I haven't seen a second one from Kraut, but of course, Computing Forever published a correction. When even the correction video on someone's channel has misinformation in it, not saying that this person is spreading misinformation intentionally, they may just not understand the issue. But when I see this, while I've been sitting just fighting with whether or not to do a full form video, whether or not to do a full video essay style on it, watching these videos come out after video after video after video, it irritates me. It irritates me to see people treating a story, a relatively minor story, from my country's political sphere as fodder that can just be chewed up, spat out, with no real concern as to the facts, the real implication, no desire to get a deeper understanding of what a motion might mean in the context of Canadian politics. Newsflash to everyone out there. Not all political systems are the same. Not all democratic political systems are the same. Not all parliamentary democratic systems operate in the same way. Parliamentary motion M-103 and its passing do carry some rather unpleasant connotations. They are not things that I take a great deal of pride in my otherwise proud existence as a Canadian. My government has ignored the will of its people in this motion, in passing this motion, in the interest of virtue signaling and what seems like party solidarity. In this motion, the government essentially states that it feels that it is its obligation to target and attempt to change the will, the opinions, and the outlook of its people as opposed to being the mouthpiece of the people. The limbs, the digits, the extension of the national opinion. No, instead of this, they are turning that around and trying to re-educate us on what our opinion should be as Canadians. These are things that the motion is. What the motion is not is that it is not a law. It is not a piece of legislation of any sort, and it was not passed, as Dave said in his correction video. As Computing Forever said in their correction video, something that was passed without a vote. It was voted on. It's the fact that it was voted on that makes it that much more shameful in my eyes. It's the fact that MPs across the political spectrum, aside from the Conservatives, whom I seem to be finding myself aligning with more and more every day, it was everyone but them who voted in favor of a motion that was not clear in its writing, that did not provide any sort of definitions, and refused, when asked, to provide any sort of definitions for its key terms. Either these MPs knew the definition and refused to share it, or they didn't know the definition and voted yes anyway. These are all things that are perfectly valid for comment, all perfectly worthy to be included in a video. There is enough to make of motion M-103. There's enough to take from it without needing to fabricate things, to believe hearsay, to believe, frankly, bullshit. Computing Forever, I hear great things about you, and this is the first video of yours that I've seen, so I would not dare to hold your entire channel to the assumption that it's all the same as this. However, you cite, it's been argued against by multiple media outlets, including The Rebel. As if The Rebel is supposed to be some unsmirchable, unsmudgeable, stalwart champion of truth. They're as slanted as anyone else. Just because they had the ever so lovely Lauren Southern, they still have Ezra Laurent. Ezra Laurent. Levant, anyway. I just wanted to say I don't appreciate my politics being used as some little cheap token to put a couple of videos out. There have been creators like Logic, like Dr. Jordan Peterson, who took a great deal more time to make their videos, who quite evidently put a lot more thought into their videos, and who seem to actually care whether or not their videos were well constructed and accurate in their statements. So to anyone else who's thinking of doing an M-103 video, by all means, make a video about this. I beg of you, make a video about this. Because the more people we have pointing out the inconsistencies, the faults, the more people we have pointing out why this was a stupid, just absolutely ridiculous motion to be passed, the better. But if you do, take the extra time and look into the issue properly. Because it serves no one to champion a good cause with bad information. Thank you.